What a shot.
Is it?
That's a thumbnail.
Thumbnail, look stupid. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know. We're at the Beverage Forum. I feel like I needed to bring the energy. I don't know, it's because it's like, I don't know what's going on. I mean, like Robert Downey Jr. and who knows, other countless celebrities that could or could not be in a frame right now. I don't know. But we're going to be speaking tomorrow, which is will be interesting. You guys will be able to follow that journey. It's going to be different. I'm going to be the maestro, the guy that's like playing puppet master. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm usually the guy that's just up there like just talking randomly about whatever I want to talk about, but I get to like cohesively bring together some entrepreneurs, some leaders, Kendall Tool from Peloton, which I know makes my wife jealous. She doesn't really watch this, but still, if she does, love you, babe. No. This is a great show. I've never actually been here. Maybe this is a 30th year or 29th year. I don't know how many years, but a lot of years. It used to be in Chicago. I'm going to say something that's maybe off-putting, but it was like, you know, stodgy old gray hairs. Used to love going there. Now, Danny brought and injected some life of like entertainment, LA, Hollywood vibes, me, and obviously that means the party is going to be on. So hopefully this is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be different or not, but regardless, you guys are going to get to follow along on this journey that me and Big Fern are going to take you on. So, day 2. You want to know why today's going to be much better? 1, I have my hat on, which, if you guys have ever seen like Over the Top, you know, like when Stallone has his hat forward, he puts it back, and he knows he means business.
What I do is I just try to take my hat and I turn it around, and it's like a switch that goes on. And when the switch goes on, I feel like another person.
That's when you know I mean business. Today, I'm supposed to be bringing the heat, the energy, C4 Smart Energy, whatever. I'm going to be bringing the heat on stage, trying. We're going to be doing that soon. It's a little bit early, so I'm trying to like get the, a dad brain I've been keep mentioning. Like, I feel like probably I need to like make t-shirts or something that says that or whatever. I'm going to milk that excuse for the rest of my life until probably my kid's 20. So hopefully you guys get used to that joke because it's going to be around for a while. But we're going to be heading back to like the green room. Maybe Grant can catch a little bit of my nervous energy back there, because it doesn't matter how many times I do this, and you guys have watched me speak at all these places. It doesn't matter. I'm always like a little bit nervous, which people said is a good feeling. They said that's actually means you care, which I do, because there's a lot of like big heavy hitters in the audience, and I want to make sure that I don't look stupid. So that's the goal today.
Whoa! Oh yeah. Repping.
Always be selling.
Always be selling.
Always.
A, B, C.
A, always B, B, C, closing. Always be closing.
I wasn't sure what your favorite flavor was, so I put the Freedom Ice in the green room.
Well, I'm just gonna start shotgunning them, just like
Chug.
just like whatever we can do. So if you guys got one of those, like, you should get one of those hats for like the two things that are just like the straw.
The brain freeze. Oh shit.
So
I like it.
in between I'm talking, I'm just like, people can pick it up on the microphone. They'd be like, oh, this
That's
guy,
badass.
we're not gonna ever get this guy again, ever. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like getting into the serious mode, Grant. Oh wow, that was a move that should be like put into a museum or something. You guys will never get to see that, but I did. Grant's flexibility. I don't know what he's been doing lately. He's been doing mobility classes or something. So whatever he just did there, it would make the best filmmakers in the world jealous. I don't know. Oh, okay. So that's already. Oh, okay.
We have it, but if it becomes like organic conversation, fine. And then at the end, it'll say, thank you all for joining us. And then you'll introduce Wayne Wu, and then here's the cue up for Wayne, and that'll appear on the prompter.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Cool?
Yep.
Yeah, so just monitor the timer. It'll go yellow when you're within 5 minutes left. So that's like a cue for like last questions or anything like that. And that's it.
Okay. Perfect.
I'll
Thank
come
you.
get you guys about 5-10 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Super serious. We got a teleprompter. I should have told her I can't read. Can you imagine? I got this far in life and I can't read. She still does. For those that didn't get that joke, I went to Kent Read, Can't Write, Kent State. So this one for you. You guys probably don't know that joke, but anybody that went to Akron or any of our rival schools, that's our joke about us. So yeah, I really can't read or write or whatever.
Yep. Those are different. It always communications. My favorite phrase too. It's a small world. Get the question.
Yeah. I didn't hear you. Yeah. Can you just do it again? But
Yeah.
try to say that in a different language this time. You see if you. Yeah.
No, I think a lot of the focus should be on.
You do Pig Latin next time? Exactly. Listen to Pig Latin.
If you're not following Josh's YouTube, you should. It's epic. Whether it's best through content creation or consulting projects, the way his brain processes the world, deconstructs patterns, always leads to these really compelling insights. So this should be a really great panel discussion with amazing guests. Welcome to the stage, creator and Peloton instructor, mental health advocate, Kendall Toole, CEO of Pure, Gerard Adams, and founder of Equity, Quentin Vinny, and last but not least, founder of Illicit Elixirs, John Valentine, and moderator. Here we go, let's go.
I believe beverages play an increasingly important role in our everyday lives. I mean, obviously they hydrate our bodies, they've brought us all together. I mean, it's been a social gathering tool forever. But I think there's been this like emerging paradigm shift towards added functionality that I kind of focus on a lot, that I think gives beverages the power to be so much more. And one of the ones that I think, at least, is around destigmatizing mental health. So, but I know really this has been like a major kind of motivation for you in terms of starting Equity in 2021. And I know I was talking to you yesterday, and I said like I'm going to try not to cry here, even though I'm also not gonna. Hopefully you don't cry here, but I'm not because I'm not the Barbara Walters type of person. But like, I'm a first-time dad, 9 week old. He's about a mile away, and like what you went through last year. I mean, like I can't even imagine like what you went through. You being able to push on, and you being able to do kind of what you're doing, and I wanted to just kind of get a sense of like how you're using that tragedy, like how you're able to like even create a more refined vision, be able to like push through that. If you could just kind of talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. As we were talking about yesterday, right? Like, for context, for everybody in the room, last year, April 12th, my oldest son he passed away. He had accidentally ingested fentanyl, and I found him when I went in to wake him up for school. And so equity was based and founded on mental health. Right? It started with my younger son, who was diagnosed with ADHD when he was 7, and we wanted to create something more natural and holistic to manage his ADHD diagnosis, because there was an absence of what we needed in the market. When thinking about my own mental health journey and thinking about the untimely passing of my son, I'm a firm believer in the idea that a shared story can be a saved life, right? And our journeys and our trials, our tribulations, our traumas, our tragedies, our victories, our wins, our triumphs, none of these things are for us to hold and hoard, right? They are to be shared, because in order for us to find a space of collective healing, we have to be willing to have collective conversation. We have to be willing to delve into the things that make us uncomfortable, and often sometimes are very painful, right? And so, considering all that I've experienced over the last year, I wasn't sure where equity was going. I wasn't sure whether or not equity would continue to persist. But the last picture I had with my son alive, he was holding a can of equity in a Sprouts store. And that was a week before he passed away. And that, for me, was a sign that no matter where he is physically, spiritually, he is forever in me, with the brand, and the pride that he had in what we were creating is something that's worth preserving.
Kendall, I think you've also been pretty open around your kind of mental health battles, and I was just wondering if you could kind of talk a little bit about your journey. Like, I think it's been a really powerful part of your voice, and just been able to kind of like, I think what kind of Quentin said about like just being able to ultimately bring people through those stories and bring people connection, community, and whatever. I think that's an important part of me. I know a lot of people that shy away from that vulnerability, but I think it's also a super powerful thing that you can kind of like own and be able to like bring people close to.
I completely agree. Firstly, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Your words are so true, and I think it's a testament to the fact that our highs, our lows, our trials, our tribulations, and our victories, you're 100% spot on. They need to be shared, and the only way to move forward in the conversation on mental health is to do that together and to come from a place of vulnerability. And in my personal journey, it's been so many blessings in the sense of being able to reach so many people and millions of people globally on Peloton. But in the process of that and in building a platform in the community, I knew I wasn't being fully transparent with what my journey was, what my story was. And there was a pressure in a really positive sense that I need to be open about what's going on. The COVID-19 pandemic, everything we all went through, I recognized that I held a space of connection and power. And it was very important to be transparent about what my journey was, because if I wasn't being completely open, I wasn't serving anybody but myself, right? And in the effort to, 500 square foot apartment in New York, fresh from California, I was like, I don't know, I was broke before this, so like, we're just happy to sit on a green couch and figure this out. Thank God for my dog, who does have separation anxiety issues because we spent so much time together. But I opened up on Instagram about my own personal mental health journey and the fact that I have anxiety and depression. I talk about it very openly. It's not anything I'm ashamed of. For me, it's a superpower. And my senior year of college, actually at USC, very close to here, I was moments away from taking my own life. And in an effort, I think there was, a beautiful, blessed moment where I saw my phone screen lit up and it was my mom, and she had called me 15 times. And thank God I had my phone on silent, and it was that moment that, thank God that occurred. But it's been a battle, it's been a struggle, and I think it's exciting to be partnered with Don't Quit, because the core of what we do is really about talking about fueling perseverance. It's about the fact that every single one of us has had some type of difficult moment in our lives. We've gone through something where we had the option to let it take us out and fight, or if we keep moving forward. And so being able to be a part of a brand that at its core has values, it's really important to me. That yes, it's a fantastic product, it's clean energy, it's the fact that we have the cognizant ingredient, which is fantastic for brain health. But it also roots back to the fact that there's a story. Myself, Tamara Hamlin, like we really stand for what we're creating, like what Quentin's creating as well. Like there's passion and there's a goal behind what we do, and so it's just been an honor to be a part of it and to allow one of my toughest moments to work into a product and hopefully help inspire more.
Maybe you guys have seen the YouTube video or not of mine, but there's always this like cooler that's over my corner, and you're always going to tell me like this is probably not a correct claim here, but I always call it my get shit done cooler because it's always stocked with like various either energy drinks or things that have cognizant in it. And I know one of the claims around kind of brain memory kind of helping that here, so I want to kind of talk a little bit about that. I know we went over to a great dinner last night. We got to meet David Coors, and then Gavin Hattersley was just on the stage. So maybe some of us had too many Coors Lights or something like that, and maybe lost a little bit of your memory, and maybe not. But as a mindful drinker, somebody that doesn't drink all that much, I think there's this really interesting thing that's happening right now with like Better For You, this like functional beverages, and something with like John and your brand with illicit elixirs. Like, was that something that you were considering? It's like just that consumption behavior, people changing at least their idea of like what that maybe after hours consumption occasion could be like, and like were they choosing those kind of more healthy beverages? Is that something that you guys considered as one of the, I guess, day parts or kind of occasions? No.
No, in all seriousness, there's obviously been a huge push towards this non-alcohol movement or low alcohol movement, and for us, the way we look at illicit elixirs, it's giving people an alternative they can drink anytime during the day. So it's something that they want to drink during the day is nice, it'll pick me up, that's great. If it's something they want to drink in the evening as an alternative to alcohol, that's great as well. We're also not handheld.
Talk about dopamine, talk about just the idea of like what gives you happiness. I know for me, it's always been the gym. Like that's been that place that for me, like if I have a stressful day, if I whatever, like that is like what lights me up. And I know that obviously, Kendall, it's part of your life, part of your life, and I wanted just to kind of have a more discussion around the idea of like how that aspect, I guess, brings into more holistic idea of like what it brings to you, like as an entrepreneur, as a father, as a partner, all these kind of things. Like I think that's an aspect of it, but then also as a whole, consumers are trying to get, I think, a holistic sense of wellness. We think about that not just from the gym, but also from just like the mind, the body, all that kind of connection together. And I also think like going to the gym is that kind of central position. I don't know if you guys believe in that or not, but I've always said that's like my rock, and then everything else kind of goes from there.
Yeah, I can jump in. I think when we look at wellness, right, in its entirety, we're looking at taking care of the mind, the mind, body, spirit, holistically, right? For me, I was a big weightlifter, 15, 20 years ago. More recently, I think within the last like 5 to 6 years, I really got big into boxing, so it was great to see. But yoga and meditation saved my life. And when I was similar to you, was diagnosed with severe generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, major depressive disorder, PTSD. Growing up in West Baltimore, single mother, father addicted to heroin. Seeing and experiencing things that most people only see on television. It was like my real life. There was a lot that I was holding on to that I didn't recognize or realize was contributing significantly to my actions, my behaviors, my thought patterns, my prayer life, etc. And so when I was in the pits of a 2-year addiction to anxiety pills, it was yoga and meditation and a lot of prayer, but yoga and meditation that really helped drive that for me to take a more natural and holistic route. I think it's very important for us to find that space of balance, right? It's important to have these moments of stillness, to breathe, to reflect, but also to start your day and have throughout the day, non-negotiables. For me, that's my meditation practice. That's my, my boxing. That's exercise. That's, it's my cup of tea every morning. So.
And I think Danny, when he was queuing this up, he was really kind of mentioning LA Libations as kind of, and everybody I think is seeing maybe where the puck is moving and seeing that cognitive wellness or just like focus and things. This is where I think a lot of the beverages and where a lot of this kind of cross categories going. But Gerard, I think you get the luxury I think of being at a place where you get to see a lot of innovation happening, like from a lot of different brands. You get to kind of see where, is there anything from your perspective that you're seeing that's maybe, I don't know if it's blue oceans or just like people that, where people are going with this kind of category overall?
Yes, well, I'm getting a masterclass here today as well, just learning so much. So what I'm hearing, and what it comes back to for me, is the brain is the epicenter of our experiences, right? And that includes things like memories, and I think it's been mentioned on this stage, and I think it's one of the themes of this conference this time is that evolving view of cognitive wellness and from that traditional narrow view of just trying to delay aging and the decline of the cognitive function. Once upon a time, if we were sitting on this stage, that's what we probably would have been talking about, right? But now it's a much more holistic view, as the panelists have said. And so it's really about living your life to the fullest. So a healthy brain allows you to have meaningful activities, engagements, relationships, and just enjoy life's pleasures. So with that expanded definition, I think that in terms of Blue Ocean, I think John's on a winner. I think that the whole mood space is very hot at the moment.
And I'm thinking about just in general, trying to bring this into my wheelhouse a little bit here with the sports nutrition space, and I think that Spins on the first day mentioned something about if it's powders or beverages, what is that definition today? How do people kind of decide that? I know that I've kind of dubbed that the beverage identity crisis in a recent piece of content because I think there's so much swapping that's happening here, and I'm risking as a moderator a one-word answer here, but I was wondering from both John or Quentin, have you guys thought about what your brand could look like in a powder sense? Has that been ever something that you guys have thought about? And then, if you have, maybe if there's anything you guys have been working on.
Yeah, I'll take it. So yes, we explore a lot of different things as we're looking down the pipe of what's going to come next. Obviously, the trend in sticks is pretty interesting to see that. I'm still in the can guy for right now for the fact that you talked before about hydration and how much it matters, and I'm a big fan of making it easy for consumers. So wherever they are, let's meet them where they are, how they want to consume. As we look at innovation coming further, we are working on a couple things that are around caffeine alternatives. So I think it's really important for our demographic.
I do think with the sticks too. I mean, even the ripping of the sticks kind of has a little bit of a dopamine hint.
Yeah, when we look at dopamine, it's an all-encompassing thing. So our cans are silly, goofy, and fun. There's serious science behind what we do. We work with functional neurologists to build out all of our blends and everything else. But our cans are meant to be fun. It's meant to be goofy. It's meant to be silly. Again, laughter's the best medicine.
Even maybe taking it where do you think the category from I call it kind of the T plus where you're kind of playing out. Do you see that gaining a lot of traction? At least from what I'm seeing, both from data or consumer behavior type things, people are turning to different ideas of caffeine or different ideas of what is this idea of the energy consumption or whatever that is. And tea seems to be gaining a lot of steam, and functional tea or T plus seems to be kind of where things are going.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, when we first started, Equity in 2021, right? The primary focus was, to create something that was natural and holistic as, we went to manage my son's ADHD. And I think that's grown and expanded, right? I love that you say T plus. We often associate Equity as the tea that does more. Right? Tea by itself, naturally is a functional ingredient. You get, 200 plus milligrams of polyphenols. You get antioxidants. You get, natural caffeine that doesn't give you the jitters, unless you consume a ton of matcha, which I've done before. It's not fun. But outside of that, right? I think even with our, innovations and updated formulations, we're adding things like B vitamins and electrolytes, and we're often looking for ways to to constantly improve not only physical performance, but cognitive performance. I think being collaborative in that way and constantly being a student, not of just the beverage space, but of what's happening, in the mental health space is very pertinent, right? 30 years ago, there was no such thing as an anxiety disorder, right? It was considered stress. Being a person of color growing up in the community of West Baltimore, I didn't have the privilege of having depression, right? Like that wasn't a poor people's disease, right? And so we're seeing these conversations in research being constantly expanded. And so I think in order for us to continue to reach consumers where they are, not only do we need to be considerate of what models and modes we're providing to consumers, but also, being very diligent and intentional in about what they are looking for as these conversations continue to expand.
So if anybody ever paid attention to my content, I've always loved to try to see around the corner, look into the future kind of things here. And maybe this is, you have some thoughts towards this, because I think that before you were in the beverage space, then you were in the health tech space. And I have been really paying attention to where things are moving in terms of personalization or personalized nutrition, and maybe even the way that we can adapt data into some of these things. Do you have any thoughts on maybe, this maybe not even on the record in terms of your company, what you're working on, but just in general, where do you see maybe that space moving to?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting times. I spent the last 10 years in the technology and healthcare space and data analytics around it. And I think one of the things that's changed the most over the last couple of years is people's access to their own health data. And actually, you don't have to go to the doctor to understand where you're at. So as that becomes more and more digitized and people have more and more access to that, you're able to actually start to look at stuff and say, okay, how do I want to solve things for myself? What do I want to do? How do I want to understand my stuff? There's been a huge leap in consumer education in their own health. And I think being able to get access to that data yourself and personally allows you to really start to look at the things that you want to hone in on and pay a lot more attention to. You've touched on it before, just the little bit of the weight training. There's little things people can do every day. I think just anytime you can get people more engaged, more understanding, you're going to end up with a better result.
And we're counting down here, and this clock is really getting me. And I know, Kendall, we talked off stage, but you said you're really good with the clock ticking at the end. So I'm going to let you sign off, maybe say something motivational. Maybe somebody's going to get up and do some movement here or whatever. But I'd be remiss if I didn't let you do the ending here.
Oh, I will take it. Don't worry. A countdown clock. I'm oh, that's more than enough time. Don't worry. I'm talking all the way up to 3 seconds before we go live. Friends, thank you so much. Everybody on this panel, so wonderful to share everything that you did. Thank you for all your personal stories. You've done fantastic. Nice round of applause. My friends, help me close out my classes in the words of my father that got me through a very tough mental health chapter that now I can share with the world. I'm going to have you do a little something. I'm not going to have you stand up. Don't worry. Please do it later, though, and lift weights. Okay, fists up in front of the face, little boxing style. Good. You're going to say, you are worthy. You are worthy. You are ready. You are ready. And they can knock you down, but they never knock you out.
Told you we were going to do something different. I guess, I don't know what word I used, but this is wild. One of these times we're going to just do something completely wild that you're going to be what the heck is going on? You get to see what I'm actually carrying here soon. It's not a cat. Shout out to my grandma. If you know, you know. Who would have known?
Who would have known what?
That I was going to go from Beverage Forum to sled pushes.
Get that workout in.
I think they call that a triple threat. Instead of an actor, musician, what's the last one? Doesn't matter, because I'm better than that. Whew. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh no.
Give them the pass.
The reality. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I promised something wild. And Axton is here. Oh. So Axton's gonna close the video for us. Tell him, Axton, what do you tell him? You're a YouTuber. Smash a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. And thank you for watching. Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Surf's up, bro.